How much worse are dwarven archers compared to other races? I love those ever since the first WoW trailer. Well, you can't have guns like the dwarves do in WoW, but they're fine. If anything, dwarves actually make reasonable archers because they're shorter to the ground, which means projectiles are less likely to miss. Not shorter, they're closer to the ground. It is a weird consequence of the game engine, but yes, they're not bad at all. Trim, would you say that the single most important invention humanity has ever created... what would you say is the single most important invention, and why is it the big mouth Billy Bass? So there's the fish that sings is kind of rad. You know, that's a dope fish. Big fan. I would say it might not be that as the greatest invention of humanity's history. I think there might be some other inventions that are also pretty good. I no longer need these potions. That's nice. Couple things that might be a little bit better. We talked about sliced bread. Pretty rad. So you gotta love that. Let's see. Selfie sticks are unironically a very good invention. Huge fan of the selfie stick. So that one's not too bad as well. I do like that. So selfie stick is also very good. If you are wondering why I am doing guard duty here, and you're like, wait a minute, Strim, why are you doing guard duty? Didn't you say this quest isn't worth a lot of XP? Guard duty for me is like a checkpoint. It's like I'm slowing. I can mentally like slow down a little bit. Because guard duty is not hard at all. It's a very simple, straightforward quest. And because it's simple and easy, and the monsters spawn at a fixed rate, I can kind of just like chill, you know what I mean? So I'm running around in here, and I'm going to be killing some monsters, and I can just have some water and relax and not really stress about it. So then it's down to 60 degrees freedom, stupid Arctic weather. 60 freedom! Damn, dude, that's so cold! Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is in freedom.
Sailors have locked and barred the door. As the door swings open, the cannon blasts subside. You've reached the above decks.
It is 12 degrees freedom here.
To yours with its gangplanks down.
Yeah, it's only 12 freedom here. 12. Hit this guy. I have aggro on pretty much all of this stuff. Put flower on aggro. Flower being on aggro means she will randomly heal the pirates that are around. I could probably heal Flower, put the Bard Song on her. There's a Korthos, but I have only 10 of 12. Is there any hint to find the missing ones? Yes, it actually tells you. If you go press X and then click the Explorers button, it tells you what they are. So you know what to look for. So it'll be like, oh, you need to find the Tainted Shrine. And you're like, oh, Tainted Shrine. Okay, look for a shrine. And then go walk up to all of them. Yeah, it's 64F in Central Florida. 64 freedom in Central Florida. Well, Florida's a little different because it's also humid in Florida. So you're also gonna have to deal with like the humidity. It's like the cool humidity. Whereas in Azarona, it's at least like not humid. It's a dry cold. I think it's a dry cold. Is it humid there? Great question. Oh yeah, spell casting. Yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole lot here.
Would a tainted shrine be one tainted by olives?
No, because olives are delicious. So I apologize, but you're very wrong on this one. Look, you might be right about a lot of different things. You might be right about a lot of things. You're a smart man, knowledgeable man. You know a lot of stuff. But olives are delicious, okay? It is what it is. You don't eat a shrine? I mean, true. If there are a bunch of olives on the shrine, I would not eat the shrine. So you can make an argument that the olives aren't delicious enough to make me eat stone and porcelain and offerings, which is true. That is actually accurate. I would not start eating my way through like a stone shrine just because there are olives on it. That is not something that I would do. But I guess it's just one of those sentences I never thought I would have to say. Oh, that's funny. Shrine is tainted by too much cream cheese. Yeah, I'm not much of a believer in the concept of too much cream cheese. I'm gonna be honest. Do olives make the shrine objectively worse in any way? I mean, possibly. It would make it worse if it was a shrine devoted to a god that hated olives. You'd be pissing off a deity, so probably a bad idea. You know, they extend the olive branch. Like, you know what? I think we could have a better piece of communication here. I think maybe we both made some mistakes. I'd like to extend the olive branch. And then the god is like, you son of a bitch. You're going to give me an olive branch? Why don't I just shove olive my foot up your ass? And then you kind of go from there. Why can't we just all live in peace? Good question. Olive is great because it is a word, sort of. It can like be an approximation for other words. All of... that's actually the main plot of one of my favorite Christmas movies, which is Olive the Other Reindeer, which is about a dog named Olive who loves Christmas, and then hears on the radio that Santa is in trouble because he needs all of the other reindeer, but the dog mishears all of the other reindeer and hears Olive the other reindeer, and the dog's name is Olive, and so the dog goes on a quest to get to the North Pole and fly Santa's sleigh. It's a great movie. It's really fun. Very, very, very good children's movie for Christmas time. All these items are bad, so I'm just gonna take nothing. I gotta take items so I can sell stuff. I need money. I don't need money like that much. Also, this character is gonna use stone skin wands, which will come into play later because they're very, very good. Dogs can't fly. Dogs cannot fly, yes. That is an important part in the film. I don't want to spoil the movie, but yes, that you are correct. Dogs cannot fly. Even though it is a cartoon, you're right, dogs cannot fly. I would recommend just go watch it. How did Olive learn English? It's a cartoon. There's like, there's a penguin that speaks English too. It's a lot, actually all the animals talk. It's a cartoon. True, also, nothing says dogs can't fly. These are Airbud rules.
Strategically placed to detect ships coming in and out of
Alright, so now it's time to do everyone's favorite quest, Toed Tobias. I'm going to be blitzing through all these quests. I apologize if I am less instructive with some of these adventures than on the fighter. On the fighter, I had to like think about how I was going to get through many different adventures and quests. How am I going to handle certain rooms? How am I going to handle certain enemies? What am I going to be focusing on? The Bard, I just press shout, everything dies, and I go to the next room. Which, at this point, you should be able to do as well if you're following along at home. So, over here, Bardic Inspirate, cast my personal buffs, get to where the bats spawn down, drop down the sound burst so it kills them, and then keep going. I think did I take swim? Oh, yeah, I did. I don't have pork rinds. Crap. Well, I gotta go buy Bard spell components eventually. The Irish Shrine of Korthos, I keep missing it. If you want me to tell you, it is go to where Misery's Peak is, the top of the mountain, and on the water near the mountain, there is a sheet of ice, and down there is a shrine, and if you go up to it, you'll get the location.
The pipes, followed by the sound of a door opening.
I can't believe I know that off by heart. I spend too much time playing this video game. Well, not too much time as somebody who's a DDO content creator, because it's really good for my job, but... Yeah, oh, another thing that you need to know, I read this on the forums, but using the DDO wiki is actually cheating. So if you've ever used the DDO wiki, you are in fact a certified cheater, pumpkin eater. So just keep that in mind.
A strong current pushes against.
Yeah, you gotta really hug that shrine, you know. Okay. Let's keep going. Be on the shrine like an olive. Yeah. You gotta grab it. You gotta pull it in. You gotta go for, like I said, go for the hug. Go for the pat on the back on the shrine. You gotta make sure the shrine feels comfortable and you feel comfortable with the shrine. Using maps for this? Absolute animals? I know. Again, that's literally cheating in a video game. Come on, guys. Because that's another thing that I personally tried to do the first time I played through a game. I tried to avoid using tools, so I can totally understand why some people might be averse to go checking like the DDO wiki and things like that. When Elden Ring first released, even though probably 20% at most of my audience actually cared about the video game Elden Ring, you better believe I streamed the entire game with no breaks until I was done, because I wanted to be able to play it without being backseat gamed by all the insufferable Dark Souls fanboys that exist. So before all the wikis were filled and people knew where all the best weapons were and stuff, I mean, it didn't stop people from coming in on like 5 hours deep into my first playthrough going like, dude, do you have Rivers of Blood yet? I'm like, no, I don't have Rivers of Blood yet. Exploring the world. The wonderfully large world created by Miyazaki. Like olives in your shrines, even pineapple's better. I mean, yeah. When it comes to olives versus pineapple, so you probably shouldn't combine the two, although they probably wouldn't taste that bad together, but yeah. Oh god, that's a good clip. So I'm not gonna put it up on here because I'm doing a recording of the thing, but yeah. I don't have a message on screen. I don't know if I have a thing that lets me only show stuff on stream. I'm gonna have to figure out the overlay at some point. See what I can do with that. Make some work. I really like that I don't have to do any healing because my character will automatically just get the health back. It's very convenient. If I take any small minor amounts of damage, my health just recovers. It's very, very, very nice. Get out of here, skeleton quartermaster. Should have been a skeleton hole master if you wanted to fight me.
A ship's mast rises up from a chasm
destroyed.
in the cave floor.
And wait for that quartermaster to come in and... Wow. Also, important note, monsters do have variants of hit points in Dungeons & Dragons Online. So two monsters are standing next to each other. You might have noticed that the two different quartermasters took different amounts of damage, and yet they both had almost no health left. There's always a range. Just like in pen and paper, the monster's health is displayed to you as... They give you an average, but they also display the health as a dice roll. So if you want, you can then manually roll the dice each time for your health, which is how I do it for my monsters. My monsters don't have the same health in between each one. I roll it randomly. So I'll be like, oh, the monster's health is, 10 d6s plus 60. And so that is anywhere from 91 to 120 hit points. Or 100.
The source of the cold air coming from this room.
60, sorry. 70 to 120. I know mathematics, okay?
Melt the ice, allowing you to continue your search for
70 to 120. Wait. I have to wait for the ice to break. Then I can buy spell components, so I can cast this spell. I also can't cast Lightning Bolt because I don't have spell components either. So even though I want to cast it for the extra damage. So at least lets me find out the DC. So I'm at 28 on Lightning Bolt and 29 on Shout. Not too bad.
The second valve triggers another chain reaction.
Inspiration Melody, Arcane Song of Arcane Might is actually not bad. I probably could take that sooner rather than later, just because that's... I mean, it is +2 to all my spellcaster levels. When with 5 points, I will be able to take Lightning Strike and that. I think I probably will do that. Or +1 all my cash levels. Because there's +1 to catch level of Shout, which has caps at 15, so it'd be nice just for early leveling. I don't know. Usually I know the answers to these things. This is one of the other things I with the solo guided playthrough, sometimes you have to make different decisions for leveling than you would for endgame. The +1 catch level isn't a huge deal for the most part in endgame, because on a lot of cases, your spells that you cast have maximum catch level. There are some exceptions, with Dragon Breath being one of the main exceptions, because it is extremely powerful, and it has no maximum catch level, which means it's even more powerful than you think it is. What's the easiest way to find rares? I found like one in an hour. There's no easy way to find rares. Just farm them.
With bullseyes.
That's it. Know where they spawn in, and then... So the easiest way to find it is know where they spawn, and then go farm those areas. I don't generally, for leveling, recommend clearing the explorer areas. You can. I don't generally recommend doing that, though. Prioritize movement speed too much. Take movement speed over Spellsinger heal, too. Well, yeah, but I'm playing on a hardcore league, and I don't want to die. But the movement speed is a good idea. It is 7% right now.
The supposed urban legend speaks to you.
Yeah, if you don't know the locations, farming rares is a very uphill battle, because you're just running around the map waiting for something to spawn somewhere. But the rares spawn in fixed locations, they have a chance. Also, some rares are always there, and some rares are not always there. So as an example, right above where I'm going to leave here. Pro tip, on loading screen, if you have your mount keybound, even though you're underwater and you can't mount up, during the loading screen, you're not underwater because it hasn't loaded you into the underwater state. Therefore, I can mount up while underwater. But just over here, there is a skeleton that spawns, and it's always here. Stronati. Who knows? I might even get Stronati's hand cannon. One of the best leveling rune arms in the game. He's dead. No. Well, you know, there's a chance. There's always a chance. Up here, there's also another rare that can spawn, so there's Chortle. I knew Chortle could spawn here, so I went to check it. That's going to be the big trick when it comes to finding rares. Is you just have to know where they can possibly spawn, and you can find them. Actually, that's a rare. I'm going to loot the chest. Have multiple spawn locations too? Also true. Some rares have multiple spawn locations, so they might not be in one area, they might be in multiple areas. Yeah. I actually have never done a completed Ravenloft Slayer in terms of, like... I've done the kills, but I've never done a completed Ravenloft Slayer in terms of all the rares, I don't think, ever. Also, I love that this quest has so many objects that it just takes a while to actually load the quest. It's really fun to me. So, normally you don't break all the breakables. I have a spell called Sonic Blast. Sonic Blast allows me to break basically everything really easily, so I'm going to be breaking all the breakables in this quest because it's a very high value XP quest. Tell my hireling to stop. How do you get through this trap? The spikes don't hurt you while they're up. You just wait for the spikes to be up, and then you go through them. There's a shrine in here, so I'm not too concerned about how much mana I'm spending doing this. Go, Sonic Blast. Oh, yeah. Boom! Boxes are gone. This is why bards and sorcerers who have Sonic Blast make great box breakers, because you can just do this. So, like, I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about breaking boxes in quests, unless you can just kind of do this and blow up everything. Granted, it's a lot easier if you happen to have Quicken, because then your spells go out faster, but, you know, it is what it is. Also, you have to be careful in this next room up here, because all of the boxes are explosive. They're explosive barrels that are very, very dangerous. And you want to be able to not die to these explosive barrels, because they do a lot of damage. Like, flour. Alright, flour. I'm gonna put you on passive for now. You need to learn your lesson. Yeah, breaking boxes with Sonic Blast is a very satisfying experience. It just blows up everything on screen. So people used to do this with Sonic Blast before, so when they nerfed the spell, to make it so it only hits one target instead of multiple targets, they kept its box breaking potential. Which is very nice.
Intricate system
let me climb this.
needs a shaft. agility and physical endurance will be...
Sonic Blast, single target spell, and pen and paper. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Up here. Yeah. In about 30 Borderlands rares chests, I've not found my silver sigil gloves nor any named loot, but I did find these, Ruby of Frost and Fire Resistance. Oh, that person's doing Epic Borderlands for the rares. Yeah, that one sucks. They should make it so you can turn in the Feather Qual tokens for Qual Feather tokens for items from the rare as well. Some areas is worth learning to do a rare tour. Yeah, Saltmarsh is good for a rare tour because it's, I think, 220,000 XP just walking around. Pretty fast. Oh, it's Pathfinder Boots or the Anger Step? Anger's Step. Anger Step have a spell on them called Expeditious Retreat. And so when you use it, it increases your movement speed by 25% for 5 minutes. And you can do it twice. So you have 10 minutes of 25% increased movement speed.
You survived the
Every time, and they come back when you rest or complete a quest.
cease to exist.
Very good. Also, terminology, a clicky. If somebody you might hear the people say, oh, a clicky. A clicky is a item that when you click on it, it casts a spell. So it is a Expeditious Retreat clicky, because when you click it, you cast the spell Expeditious Retreat.
Walls, the floor, and the ceiling. Only your wit can solve this conundrum.
This.
Pulling this lever fires a dot.
Oh, so this is how you solve the puzzle? That way?
Return to their initial
That way?
state. This appears to be a reset mechanism.
The solution's up top there, but if you need the solution, you can always just, like, reference what I just did there. That's it. The puzzle was no challenge, or the challenge no match for my sharp wit. So, my wit is so sharp. Razor sharp. Call me Walt Whitman, because my wit is so sharp.
You hear a
I
metallic
should have a button on the stream that I can put up, and it just flashes a sign that says, like, clap or applause. Hey, Sherm, what would you say is best by? Isle of Dread or Supreme plus 8 Tome with a 30% discount? Are tomes on sale? In my opinion, I think your best buy is going to be Isle of Dread, because Isle of Dread gives you a increase in, or it gives you more quests so you can get more favor, plus the items are good, and the expansion pack is good, and it's really fun. But if you don't mind TRing, Isle of Dread is like just over 3 TRs worth of favor. So like, or DDO points. For me, I get 800 DDO points at least per reincarnation. So you usually get around 3,200 favor. So at 3,200 favor per life, that's 3 past lives to be able to buy Isle of Dread. So if you have the plus 8 tome, how much faster are you leveling? And now you can just buy Isle of Dread anyway. I guess it really all depends on which one you want. Which one you want first. It's, if you play one character, I would say maybe buy the tome now and then get the Isle of Dread later. So I think it really depends. Alright, so for this one, I want to get the maximum XP, so I'm going to answer it wrong. So, what do you do when you plunder? You don't run for the loot. You take a head count of your crew. Also, where do you go? Do you go to the tavern? No, you go to the prison. Also, how much loot does the captain get? The same as the rest of the crew. Not double, that would be silly. And no, I don't want to swashbuckle. So by doing this and spawning more monsters, it means that by killing all of them, I will get a experience point bonus for Slayer, the Onslaught, and soon to be the, by freeing this guy, the final bonus here as well. Oh god, he's now crowd control immune because he's an Avernus Battle Rager. I love that. And I dropped a chest in the air. Now I got Conquest bonus. So I gained a percentage bonus XP by forcing all the extra fights, and because I'm an AoE character, that didn't really add any extra time to my quest completion. Learning tomes, and thanks for the insight. Yeah. as I said, if you like what you're doing, you don't have to worry about getting Isle of Dread now. And if you play one character, the tomes pay for themselves really quickly because of how much faster it is to level and how much easier the game is. Yeah. So here, jump up, wait for the fire to go, and then go. You want to go not when it stops, right before it stops. So go up, count 1, 2, and then go. There's a bit of a delay. Traps start dealing damage before their animation starts playing, and stop dealing damage before their animation finishes playing. I'm assuming that's just a quirk of the engine, of like the actual speed between, or the difference between the server and the client. Both tomes every time I make a tune on a fresh hardcore server. Yeah. I use them every hardcore server, so... But I could bank them indefinitely if I wanted.
The current is drawn
MTR?
into an opening in the
What?
rock,
No.
just
They stick around
large
forever.
enough to wiggle
The
through.
tomes of learning last forever. Think of it like if you buy a 50% tome of learning, it's like having a 50% XP potion permanently applied to your character.
A thick fog
By the way, it's a
rises
pretty
up
good
from
deal.
the water as voices of pirates float along the current.
Again, if you're somebody who plays one character, a tome of learning is a fantastic investment. Last time I did this quest, I got marauded by one of these pirates. He just kicked my ass. This is part of your new series you mentioned? You bet. This is Solo Bard Playthrough. I'll be showing you how to get through all these quests with the play guide. The main issue I'm having is that I don't have to think a whole lot or change up my strategy. With the fighter, there was always something to do, somewhere, a way to optimize your character. With this, you just gotta practice like lining up your spells like Shout, so you can hit everybody at the same time, and that's about it.
Wood and metal intensifies.
Ground targeting is a big one, so you're going to notice me ground target a lot. So if you are not very good at that, you'll get practice by playing a character like this. Said I ground target quite a bit. Being mindful about certain champions is also an important deal. Fortunately, I have stuns, so I don't have to care too much. I'm going to stun this guy again, actually. Kill everything. Right. And also, you can finish this quest by doing the optional here and killing the boss. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do the puzzle. Hi, Strim. Have you played Elder Scrolls Online? And if so, what do you think about it? I have played Elder Scrolls Online since the beta. And it's a very, very fun video game. I really like Elder Scrolls Online. It is very comparable to Dungeons & Dragons Online in terms of the fact that they both have online in their name and referencing a larger product. But also, it has a lot of character customization because there is tank, heal, and DPS, but all classes can do all roles. Because the armor, or like, wearing a certain type of armor is based on practicing the armor skill. And every class has healing abilities, tanking abilities, and DPSing abilities based on how you want to put it together. Additionally, there are tons of universal trees that you can use to just like flesh out your character build. So, just because your character might not, you pick like Nightblade, and you don't think of Nightblade as a spellcaster because it's like sneaky and stealth. You can definitely play a Nightblade spellcaster if you want, because you can literally do anything in the game. So it's very cool. So the classes have themes, but it's neat. The quest system is neat. The fact that everything is always at your level and you always get rewarded with items of your level means you can play with any of your friends at any time, which is cool. One of the issues with a lot of games nowadays is you want to introduce a friend, but you're at the wrong level to be able to play with them, like DDO, where you have to like make a new character and stuff. Whereas in Elder Scrolls Online, you don't have to do that. You can just immediately just take your existing characters and go play with them, which is cool. It has account-based progression, so you get progression based on like when you do things on your whole account. So there's like the champion point system, which is neat. The crafting system is in depth. The story is fantastic and really, really good. And if you actually play through all of it in order, you get rewarded by characters, making references to other things that you did, and also stuff. It feels very personalized. And then it's just the story's really, really good. So it's a really fun, very good game. So where are the downfalls? So all I've said are good things. Where are the downfalls, the downsides? Number one, the end game rating is not just challenging, but also it uses mechanics that may not be as fun or as clear. The entire game is designed around animation canceling. So if you play on the landscape and you do the normal level dungeons and content, you're going to have a fun time. But if you start going into veteran or you go into trials or endgame raids, you will have to learn the very vigorous animation canceling and get used to the fact you will never see your character do an animation. Your character is just going to be a mishmash of arms flying everywhere as you animation cancel everything. I don't really like the visual style of that, which is why I don't do it as much when I play on the landscape. But it is very annoying for the endgame. From that perspective, in my opinion, it's just like as somebody who likes the aesthetics of video games, that one I don't, it's not as fun. The crafting can take a long time, for sure. Also, the base UI is horrific because it is designed to appeal to console players and people who came from Skyrim. So it's a full MMORPG with tons of stats and all sorts of things, but the game basically as a default won't even give you any numbers most of the time. It'll just be like, you do a little bit better, and it's hard to tell how your stats work. But fortunately, because they know that PC players are PC players, the game has tons of add-ons, so you can download plugins that just actually display things like a regular MMO, and they're very easy to get. You just look up Elder Scrolls add-ons, it'll bring you to the website, or to the place where you get the add-on manager minion, and you can download and install things really, really easily. It's a very easy problem to fix, but initially you might look at the UI and be like, why is there no number on my health bar? And because that would be nice. Even a percentage would be nice, because you can keep track of where your health is and how much you need to heal and how much your heals actually do. But yeah, the game is designed with no numbers, so that way it appeals to console players. And then PC players can adjust the numbers and stuff with add-ons and other programs. And the last thing, I don't think this is a downside, but some people don't like it. The game has you effectively level down. As you increase in level, your lower level equipment will give you less stats. So if you're level 1 and you have a level 1 armor that gives you 100 armor points, cool. If you're level 10, that level 1 armor on it will have a lower number. Now it'll only give you 50 armor points. And you have to get higher level items to give you new stats. You constantly have to replace your items until you get to the level cap of Champion 160, which is the equipment level cap. It's confusing to many that as you get higher level, your character gets weaker if you do not upgrade your equipment. Which is not to say that your character is better at level 1 and those are the best characters. Your stats are definitely higher when properly equipped at endgame, like way higher. But during the leveling process, if you're not updating your gear, your character will actually get weaker as you increase in level. Now, updating your gear is not a challenge at all. Just do quests and loot. Like, if you don't loot any items off of monsters, and you don't do any quests, you just run around attacking monsters for experience points straight up, and never equip anything, then you will also struggle. But, like, every quest gives you an item for your item slots. Every third monster you kill is going to give you a piece of equipment that you can wear. Like, it's really easy to update your gear. So usually when people tell me that that's why they quit, it's more of like a perspective thing. I think that a lot of people struggle with, just the concept. Anyway, so that's my opinion. Great game, beautiful, visually interesting. The music is fucking awesome. God, it sounds so good. Also, if you like the Elder Scrolls series, so if you liked any of the games, you really enjoy all the tie-ins. The game is set 1,000 years before Morrowind, so the Elder Scrolls 3. So there is because it's a prequel, there is a lot of area where they like specifically talk about things that have happened in the past, or they set up characters or stories you might know stuff, and they also add in some characters you might recognize from other games, which is cool. Yeah, gearing at endgame, getting started is not too bad as well. The trading system is also very cool in that game, how trading is like a guild-based thing. So like in Elder Scrolls, there's an auction house, sort of. They're called trading posts, and only guilds. So guilds have to buy a trading post, and then once they buy it, then the guild owns that auctioneer, and then people in the guild can put items into it, and anybody can buy from it. So trading guilds, because they basically bid against each other for the spots, especially in big cities. The spots in big cities will cost like millions of gold just to own the spot for a week. At which point, if you're in a trading guild, you have to pay You basically have to pay a fee to be in the guild, and then you can post your items in the main spots. So the guilds collect, and then they bid on the spots for you. The leaders do all of that, and then you, as a trader in the guild, pay into it, so then you can sell your goods and make all your returns. It's actually very, very cool. I was going to say, also, when it comes to the game itself, it's usually pretty cheap. You can generally get the Elder Scrolls Online on sale for like $10 to $20. And yeah, the base game will run you easily like 500 hours. There's so much content in the game. It's huge. Also, the VIP subscription service that they have in the game, they do have a VIP just like DDO because it's buy to play, and then once you own it, you don't have to buy things, but they sell the content. The VIP gives you access to almost all the content, but the big thing it gives you is the crafting storage bag. So when you're a VIP, you have double inventory space, double bank size, so it just literally doubles whatever number you had before. So when you get the inventory upgrades in-game, you can get inventory and bank upgrades in-game and stuff. But when you get the upgrades in the from the ESO Plus, it's a lot easier because you get so much extra space, and then you have the crafting storage, and the crafting storage is literally a bag that holds all crafting items in the entire video game that is account wide and is the best. It's so good. I love it. Yo, what's up, Sukai? How are you?
Steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
How are you? Anyway, that's my rant while I just did that whole quest while I didn't even talk about anything in that quest. Again, it's really straightforward to play Bard. Another solo tune? Yeah, dude. People were literally begging me to make a spellcaster. Yeah, good question. How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Feeling better than yesterday, I hope? Do you have any insight on how long of a time frame there is between this one? Probably 6 months. You can teleport, because I did Fire Caves Part 1, I just updated there. You can teleport back up to Fire Caves Part 2, right here.
Heat and steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
You don't need to play anymore, DDO and ESO. Yeah, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 on the side. It's really fun. It's a very, very good game. Would recommend. If you need something to play. Just straight up kicks ass. It is, in my opinion, the best designed traditional MMO. Is the Bard Stormsinger a good analog for playing as a caster in other games solo? For the most part, yeah. Yeah, the hard part about Final Fantasy is that the progress in terms of skill progression is very slow, where your character pretty much just presses the same buttons until you get to like level 70, and then once you get to level 70, they throw so much shit at you, and every character class gets so complicated. Where like, you pick, you know, I think it's Marauder, which turns into the warrior class, and you have like attack 1, which combos into attack 2, which combos into attack 3. Again, attack 1, which combos into attack 2, which combos into attack 3. Again. And you do that for the entire time. But then, by the time you're level 70, you have like, you have that combo, you have your AoE combo, you have several abilities that are off the global cooldown, you have several other attacks that give you temporary buffs, you have a new gauge, so you have like your warrior's might or whatever. Like, there's so much stuff that goes on. It's the same thing with like Dark Knight. I'm currently playing Dark Knight, it's my tank that I'm running right now. And it starts out really simple, and now I have like 10 abilities that are off the global cooldown, and also like different combos and the blood gauge and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh god. Supposed to rush in game before it gets fun. That's how Final Fantasy 14 felt to you. Interesting. So, I will say this. Final Fantasy 14 is a awful game to do that with, because there's a huge focus on the story in the game. So if you rush through, I will say you're going to lose out on a lot of the fun. I'm doing all the quests and reading all the dialogue and stuff. And the story is so good in Final Fantasy. They did a really good job with it. People will hyperbolize many aspects about it, but man, the story is so good. But if you're the kind of person who like plays the MMO where you like grab the quests, you skip the dialogue, and you go do the things, it will be very boring. Most of the quests in the game don't really have you do a lot of combat in general. It'll be like, oh, go kill 2 monsters, and then you're done the quest. Because most of the quests are just dialogue delivery systems where they want to tell you about the story and get you invested in the characters and what's going on. Which I personally don't really mind, because I'd rather have like a quest tell me to go kill 3 monsters than the World of Warcraft go kill 20. Like, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't waste your time that much, which is nice. Important note, this is not me discounting the experience where you didn't have that much fun. That's totally valid. Like I said, the early levels on a lot of the character classes, they don't give you a lot of abilities to start. I think it's because they just don't want to overload the player with too many things. It is also important to note that in Final Fantasy, it is a much harder video game than a lot of other MMORPGs. And so you actually have to do the mechanics, even in the beginning dungeons. You can't skip any of them. So once you get to level, I think it's 15, you can start doing some of the dungeons. They're all tied in the main story, like the group content. And like in WoW, there's like almost no mechanics, and you just brute force your way through every single boss and just overpower everything. And in Final Fantasy XIV, you cannot do that. If you just, even in the beginning, if you don't follow the mechanics, you just die, and you have to wait till the fight's over for somebody to revive you. So they teach you pretty early that you actually have to play the video game. So it is a lot harder than other games. I'm not saying it's hard, but in terms of like it's really challenging, but it is harder as they have an expectation that you know how to play the game right away. I think even before you do it, they force you to take like a dungeon training thing where they teach you, like, if you're a tank, you have to intercept monsters when they come in. You have to hold the boss. You have to turn the boss away from the party. If you're a healer, you have to do this and that. Because you were playing it wrong? Yeah, but even then, like, I'm the type of person where if I don't have a good experience kind of right away, it's really hard for me to go back and try it again. Because my brain just goes back to that first time I played it. I'm like, well, I didn't enjoy it the first time, so why would I do that again? Sweet. I think I have 5 action points to spend now. No, 1. I only have 1. Oh, I have to level up to get more action points. Ooh. Do I have any other 5s that I want to do? Do I have any other 5s that I want to do? I don't think so. Let me just get some rewards here real quick. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need this. All these items are bad. Pick weapons so you can sell them for gold, Strimtom. Mana Helmet is very good, but I would like a evocation item at some point. All these are bad. Methane, 2 biggest MMOs I did not enjoy. I don't like World of Warcraft either. It helps a lot that I'm currently playing Final Fantasy with like friends, so I'm enjoying it a lot more than if I was just playing it by myself. Sheltering 5, also a good helmet. Man, tough. Not having a wizardry item is kind of annoying at this point. I would like one. Okay, let's leave through real code. Do I have any other 5s that I want to do? I'm just going to check the 5s real quick to see if there is anything I want to do. There's like some Feywild stuff, but I think I'm going to do some Feywild stuff at level 8. So I think I am going to level up right now. I think that's the best course of action. Yeah, if you don't like a certain aspect of an MMORPG, don't let somebody like tell you that you're supposed to like it. That's perfectly okay to like just be, not so much be different, but like what you like. Charisma, please. I'm going to be leveling up Charisma every time, because as much as I would like to put more Constitution in to get more hit points, Charisma is my main stat. That's how I deal damage to monsters. So I need it. I will take Displacement here. Displacement can be helpful. I'm going to go buy spell components. But I'm also going to take Electrocutions. I get more spell power when I cast spells against monsters. I'm going to take Lightning Strike, because that's a huge amount of extra damage when I cast spells. And then I kind of want to take Arc Song of Arcane Might for the extra spell DCs, but I also kind of want to take Fast Movement because it makes you move fast. or spell caster level. They're both good. I think I probably will take faster movement speed. Alright, Combustive Lore, Orb. I like the fortification item. Not having fortification is like a spooky idea, so I don't want to replace that yet. Healing Amp 11. I need lightning spell power. I'm going to see if I can maybe buy something on the auction house. Because there's probably like a couple items in the auction house that might be helpful. Dire Resonating Ring is better than my Ring of Power 1. So that is an easy upgrade right there. I don't need these cure potions. I don't need these potions. I'm going to keep the resist potions in case I get dispelled. I don't really need that. I don't need a Wand of Ice Storm. Also, apparently, I have 32 use magic device. God damn, that's good. And my haggle, 27. Let's go. Protection from Evil 5th and Protection from Evil are the same spell. Because this is catch level 5, so it lasts 5 minutes. This is catch level 1, so it lasts 5 minutes. Very funny. Let me see if I can buy something on Auction House. Auction House is still a good thing to use, so let's see what we got. So... Physical resist. I think it's... There it is. Physical and magical resistance. And I'm going to put an and in here and go up to 8. Boots of physical and magical resistance rating 10 and dodge. These are definitely better than what I'm using, although dodge 5 is also good. I think I'm going to take dodge 5 and buy this. I lose feather falling, but I think that the dodge 5 is better. It's also all the money I had to buy, so I don't think I can buy anything else. But that's going to give me some more defensive stats. Was I supposed to buy spell points? Yeah, I wanted to buy a spell power item. Oh, fortification. I think that's what this is. A fortification. And staunch of fortification. Heavy fortification sapphire. I have 4,000 gold left, so I could buy 61% fortification bracers, which would then allow me to wear this orb of evocation focus 2, which allows me to replace my helmet. So I think I am going to do that. So I'm going to buy this fortification 61. So then I can go Thaumaturgic for devotion, plus the orb. So now I have the orb on instead, which gives me +2 to my evocation DCs, and it has resonance on it, which is not higher than this, but it's whatever. It is what it is. And then I can get this and this. So now my boots, which give sheltering, so that's physical and magical resistance rating, so it reduces the damage I take by a percentage. So I can put these on, which is good. So now I take less damage per strike, and I have dodge, and the fortification. Now the Spearbane was good for a long time. I don't think I need it anymore. The fortification now gives me more defenses in general, which is good. So I have more critical protection, so it's harder for monsters to critically hit me, which can be quite dangerous. And now I don't need the Spell Focus Mastery because this gives me +1 to all my spell DCs, but I don't need that because I have Evocation and I only cast Evocation spells. So instead, I'm going to replace the helmet with the Wizardry 57 helmet, which also happens to give me Spot, which is kind of useful sometimes. That was a pretty good set of upgrades. Are you actually hitting Shift 7 to use Lightning Bolt, or is it bound to your mouse? It is bound to my mouse. So I hit Shift on the keyboard, and then I press the button on my mouse. But to answer your question, though, I'm actually not hitting Shift 7 at all, because I don't have spell components. So let's buy these. Buy some spell components, and buy some 3rd level spell components. Here we go. And now I can actually hit that spell if I wanted to. Shield and Rage. So Rage, Shield. I'm never stealthing. I don't think I need the bow ever again, but just in case. So now I can Rage for extra stats. Okay, so I think we're good. I sold, I bought, I have all my resources. I need to buy a new hireling. So I'm going to go do that real quick. And I'm level 8. I will start buying Greater Heroism Potions soon. I'm also going to need to dump my collectibles away because I have too many in my inventory. And this discarded ring I don't need. I'm going to discard the discarded ring. And now I can buy Nimeth Celebel, a favorite soul hireling who likes killing things way more than healing people. But that's okay. Usually Nimeth runs out of mana. But I can reduce Nimeth's mana costs with my Bard Song, meaning the hireling will have way more spell points to use to exterminate all life known to man. So it should be good. when I get the spell point restoration effect, it'll be even better. I'm just going to quickly dump away my collectibles here. Let's get these out of here. Again, something you're going to notice with this character is that because I have more gold to spend, I can be a little bit more frivolous with how I spend it. So I can just buy some stuff off the auction house because my character's haggle is 27, meaning I get 27% more platinum when I sell things. Which is kind of good. It's pretty good. Okay, I think I'm going to go do Feywild. But before I do that, I'm going to go get my house debuffs. Because I don't want to be running around an area where monsters cast tons of elemental damage stats without elemental resistance. That would be foolish of me. I don't think anything casts a spell magic in the Feywild. I'm also not going to be doing every quest. I'm going to be doing mostly the 6s. I'm trying to think of quests that have items that I could use. But I'll think about that in a second. I have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's give me everything. And we're going to go to the Feywild. And I'm also going to look this up. DDO Leaf Mail. I'm pretty sure it's Wake Me Up Inside. I was like, I think it's Wake Me Up Inside. But yeah, we're going to see if I can get it, because that's a huge increase in my character's power. I'm just going to be doing a few quests in the Feywild to see if I can get anything that'll be helpful. I'll be trying out Leaf Mail. I will be trying out other items that I need. Probably go for the Ring of Spring Storms, which comes from the quest Icemount Curse, because that one I'm not farming. I'm just doing one run of each quest because they give XP and it can be helpful. I will go for the Combating Corruption because it drops a cloak. I don't think Fomorians are immune to lightning, but if they are, they're not immune to sonic. But it drops the Cloak of Winter, which is a fantastic cloak because it has Death Block. So I do want that, and False Life, which is generally useful. Also the Dustbone Ring, which gives Profane False Life, so it's a stacking bonus to health. So I'll go for that one as well. Thornright doesn't have anything cool in it. I feel like a computer right now, just like mentally scanning my brain, going quest by quest, thinking through all the items.
The home of Lord Ard.
Endless Revels has nothing. It has a +4 charisma item, but I don't care too much about that. I'm just grabbing every quest here. Again, no order necessary. Okay, let's go here. How do you accept quest quickly? There's a keybind. You just keybind it. That's the trick. That's the secret. So what you want to do is you go at options, key mapping, down at all the way at the bottom, NPC dialogues, choice 1. Just keybind choice 1 to something easy to press. And then when you start docking the dialogue, mash that key and it goes right through. It's very useful. Yo, anytime. Glad to be of service. I try to do my best to help people have that type of, those types of neat tricks. That's why I like the idea of uploading the full solo guided playthrough, because then people can watch it and get some advice on things that they, like it's hard to put that into like a whole video. Not dead yet? Not yet.
And so are the flower and the loot you need for the ritual. Melody begins speaking in a familiar voice.
Everything's dead. Thank you, Nemeth. She's just gonna be blowing everything up. Again, it might seem weird. Like, am I really soloing if I have a hireling? We've talked about this before, but anyone that tells you that you're not soloing because you're using a hireling, you can ignore those people. Their opinion doesn't matter. But also, remember that the cool thing about having this hireling with me is I'm a spell singer, or a Stormsinger, with all these spell buffs. So I specifically increase the power level of the hirelings that are with me that cast spells. Which means it's very fortuitous for me to have people in my party that also cast spells, and since I'm playing by myself, having a hireling that casts spells is very good. Try to stun this guy, and I got him. Get out of here, bridge troll! So because of my newfound powers, Oh, that sucks. It's only 51 damage. That's safe.
Troll
I'm
and
going to be
drops of
using
its
Sound
blood
Burst a little bit more
splash
often
into the
because my
river
DC
as
is
the
a little bit
battle
higher than before. It's
progresses.
28.
The bits grow rapidly into
Hirelings aren't
new
people.
bridge
Hirelings actually
trolls
help
that
out.
join the fight. You've recovered Hearsom's
Buddy.
loot for the ritual.
No CU was slain by misadventure. Well, I tell you what, they didn't see the trap. They should make their next character No C Trap. Or difficult for no reason. I don't know. Some people have like a complex about it where they think that like using a hireling makes you weak or something. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, if you just go online, you will see that sentiment from people.
It's the Frosty Reception.
There we go.
Magical talking.
Eat 'em.
This is the Feywild, after all.
Clams are people,
Recovered
crabs
both
are people,
the
legit
loot
or quit.
and the
True.
frosted cerise. Now,
Like that South Park episode where they have the crab people.
You notice a figure
They taste like crab, but they talk like people.
streaming from a distant portal. Perhaps that contains the secret.
Bard is so good, man. Eat Sound Burst, because it does hundreds of damage for some reason. I'm not a gold hireling, it's fine. I mean, if you really want to have a party of gold hirelings, go for it. I don't usually recommend that, because I think that at that point you really should just sub in a couple of human beings in there. They'll probably make your experience easier, but yeah, you can do that as well. Now, this final boss has a few spells that hold you in place, which can be quite dangerous. She also has a few abilities that make it so that, or she has some circle on the ground where if you stand in it and it explodes, you die. So, this character is pretty much entirely crowd control immune. So I don't have to worry about falling asleep or having anything bad happen inside one of these circles. As a tiefling, I get bonuses on my saves versus spells, because tieflings get +2 their saves versus spells. And I actually have a cloak that gives me an extra 5. So while my save against Will might only be 12, I get 7 or 5 extra saves versus spells, which is really nice. Saves versus spell items are a different statistic, and so it stacks with regular saves items. You can actually see all of the items that give you saves versus a thing are like that, and you can see your saving throws in here. 5 for spells, 1 for fear, enchantment, illusions. And they stack with your actual saving throws. Get up, Lord Arden. Right, come on! Leaf mail, leaf mail, leaf mail, leaf mail. I got the docent? Damn it. That is armor. So I got armor, which is very cool. It is not the armor that I wanted, but it is armor. That's very funny. Thank you, video game. Also, I need less than 100 XP to get my last point. So I'm going to grab the thing here. I'm going to quickly step outside, kill a monster, and then come back in and spend my last point. I mean, you're true. Yeah. Oh no, Hetman Shog slayed somebody. Don't you hate it when you die to Hetman Shog?
And repeat the steps to reverse the
especially in the caverns of Shag.
Play the lute. Then grind up
I ran that quest earlier today.
Last, burn the roots along the Lord Arden's tree. You play a brief melody.
I didn't check if the rare was here. So there's no rare here. Oh, I can find here some. Hello. This gives me XP.
Then drop the crushed roots
Hey,
of
good.
Lord Arden's true name into it.
Here's some randomly spawns around the Feywild. So, hey,
As the
hey.
smoke rises, Lord Arden's eyes open. He springs out of the bed.
Also, if you're wondering why the monsters are called Reveler Rowdies, I actually found out some information about this. It turns out the reason why they're called Reveler Rowdies is because the Revelers are a group of monster, so they are all named as such. Move speed or spellcaster level. +1 to all spellcaster levels is damage. Speed is speed. I think because the monsters in Feywild have a little bit more health, I will go with the Arcane Might and take speed after I level up. Because the monsters do have more health, so the extra like little bit of damage will actually have a
Soaring
reasonable impact.
structure is Winwood Hall, the home of Lord Arden and the local
I think that makes
center
sense.
of the summer court.
Okay. So this make-believe gives me a poison acid ring and nothing else, so I don't think I'm going to do that. This quest has a charisma necklace, medium armor, no, heavy armor, heavy summer armor. I don't want anything out of here. The Windmill quest has the Cloak of Autumn, which is a very defensive cloak, and I would love to have. So that's good enough for me. So let's do the Windmill quest. I'll show you how to do the fast windmill. The old fast windmill. It may be difficult to do with, or because of the fact that I do have a hireling with me who does a reasonable amount of damage, so we'll see. A high damage hireling can make it a little bit tougher to do, but we'll see. As I said, I'm only doing specific quests out here. I don't really want to do everything, and by doing specific quests, I can target farm for, like, if I need an item or two here or there.
You enter the grove the villager told you about and spot a
Cast this
small
on Nimeth as well.
encampment in the
And it's
distance.
nice because it gives me
Perhaps
extra
the knight
duration on my
villagers
spells.
will
So, like,
focus.
Rage lasts longer, as an example.
A hearty voice
Not only do my
calls
spells do
as
more
you
damage, they also
approach.
last longer.
Are you here
Same thing,
to
Nimeth spells
help
now
us
also
slay
do
the
more
great
damage than they did
beast?
before. This. Okay, now we can investigate the windmill. So for the windmill, I will be intimidating it to hold it on me. I don't know if I can hold over Nimeth, so I might have to put Nimeth on passive for this, actually. I think it's probably the play. I don't want Nimeth to attack it. The trick here is you just need to drag the windmill to 3 specific places. So I'm going to cast Displacement, so I take less damage from monsters.
To your surprise, spindly legs rise
Intimidate the
from
windmill,
the
and then
wind
drag the windmill
reaches
over.
forward.
So I want the windmill to be on top
The
of
windmill
this
seems
thing, this
undaunted
topiary
by
lion.
weapons and spells.
I'm going to body block the lion in place. Usually you would knock it down, but I can't knock it down.
The gemstone
And then now that I'm blind, I'm going to be running across over here. This is where the next lion spawns, so I'm going to be dragging it here so that the windmill will drop right on top of the lion. Lion's currently walking underneath it, so I don't need to body block it. Good.
Another gemstone
And then
cracks,
finally,
and
I just want to bring the windmill here. The lion spawns right here. So I'm just going to run over here. And then we're done.
A gemstone
And that is how you do this the fast way. If you do this on R10, you can still do this on Reaper 10. You just have to make sure you kill all of the monsters, or else you will not get enough kills for Reaper experience. Because I killed 14 monsters, so maybe you will. And that's how you do that the fast way. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah, that's items. Nope. Take an item. Strimtom. I'm stupid. Stormsinger? I mean, I am a Stormsinger.
Was meant to be a shelter, a temple, or just a decorative addition to the view.
I have points in the tree. Does that count? Also, there is a bug in Stormsinger. Efficient metamagic costs 1 instead of 2. Also, you can take Maximize twice. So what you can do, if you're playing a Stormsinger, is you can take Maximize here and reduce it by 9, reduce the cost of Maximize by 9 with Efficient Metamagic. And you take Maximize here and reduce the cost by 9. So for 6 points, you reduce the cost, the increase in cost on Maximize from 25 down to 7. So for 7 extra mana, or extra mana per spell, you get 150 spell power, which I don't even have 150 spell power, which would double the effectiveness of every spell in my arsenal. It's kind of good. That is definitely not working as intended, but I have bug reported it. Okay. Nocturne Ring is okay. I don't care about anything else. I will do Frosty Reception. It's also worth a lot of XP. It's worth it to do. I'll do all 3 quests up here. XP is pretty good. I could probably do the whole saga if I wanted, but I don't really want to do that. I also don't know what other light armors exist in this area. Yeah, it is basically free maximize. I'm not spending points in the Stormsinger tree just because the stuff out of Spellsinger is too good defensively. Like, being able to passively have access to freedom of movement all the time, a heal over time, all the time, stuff like that is very, very useful. And that's the reason why I use that. Lightning bolt. To get back to the central room in here, you can use this painting, because it looks like the central room and it takes you there. Breaking me up. Do you prefer Sonic Blast to be AoE, or do you think it was too broken? I think it was too good. The nerf that I would have done to Sonic Blast, instead of doing what they did, is to make it so that the Sonic Blast had its damage reduced by 50% if the monsters made their save. Attempt skill check. Persuasion. Hello. You'll notice I didn't put any points in diplomacy, but yet I am plus 21. It's the magic of being a bard. Just so talkative. So likable. Ow! I just ate the 51-point crit. Go away. Yeah, it was definitely too broken. Once you've pulled both of the levers, you can now go talk to Osha. And I can convince him to leave me alone with a spellcraft check of 21. My diplomacy is also 21. I might have to fight it. Yeah, it was definitely too good. It was the best spell in the early levels, and everybody used it continuously for a reason, so. Diplomacy? Nice. I rolled a 19. Love that. I don't know how much you need there. If you do end up fighting it, he summons some water elementals and some other stuff. You basically just clear off the ads, clear the water elementals, and then go for him last. Because he's going to go into his elemental form. You're never going to kill him quick enough. He's going to go into his wind form where he becomes immune to damage. So you just kind of ignore it. At least that is what I would recommend you would do. But you can handle these fights however you like. Grab the Frosted Cerise. If you have Dimension Door, you can Dimension Door out of this room. I don't, so I have to jump back up this hill. I have to wait till I stop being blind. Hello, Arcaniverse. How art thou? How are you doing today? What's happening?
The newly sprouted flower glows blindingly for a moment, and unexpectedly, a shockwave rocks.
You hanging in there? Nice, that's good.
To your surprise,
just keep hanging in there. Think about that cat. You know, you have one of those posters next to your desk. If you don't have one of those posters with the cat hanging on the clothesline, get one. It'll really help with your mood throughout the day, you know? Just every time you think it's getting harder, just look over at the poster and be like, cat. Yo, what's up, Smexy? How are you know? How you doing?
Lady Lazuli informs you that there were only 2 Eladrin nobles she didn't recognize in attendance.
Hopefully you guys are all hanging in.
She knows who can.
Yeah, hanging in there is definitely a mood. Like for me, that's what I was doing throughout a good chunk of December and early January, was love hanging in. Now, I'm not doing hanging in. I actually feel pretty good most days. I have this like weird jaw pain that I'm currently experiencing right now, but like that's a temporary problem that will go away. So yeah, it's just a temporary problem. Wait for him to group up and then shout. We're all dead. Good. You skilled enough to know what I mean rather than what I actually said? Absolutely, dude.
Lord Beryl says
it's my job.
Has gone to explore
my job be talking to the people. As I said, typos I'm usually pretty good at. Broken English I'm usually pretty good at. Not bad making puppy sale ads. Ooh. I made a Dark Hunter Tempest Ranger build. Is the Dark Hunter Tempest Ranger just regular build Tempest Ranger, but you are a Dark Hunter? Because that's probably how I'm going to be building my Dark Hunters, is like... We'll have to see how the death attack works. Because depending on how easy or hard it is to use, it's going to change a lot whether you actually want to use the Dark Hunter tree for cereals. Oh, I have Nimeth on... I'm like, why is Nimeth not helping me? It's because she's on passive, and I'm an idiot. Why is your mana bar full? As the vaping these days? Good old vaping. I remember when vaping was literally everywhere, and it felt like everywhere I went, everybody was vaping, and now it died off. Maybe it's just not as popular. I know a lot of people still do it, but it just is not as prevalent as I used to see. Although, to be fair, I don't know what the incidence of vaping is in high schools. Because I remember it was huge.
Clearly,
It was like,
You didn't think
at least in
anyone
Ottawa, it
would
was like
care to
32% of kids or whatever self-report as
private
vaping,
quarters.
which is like way higher than the number of kids that smoked when I was in school.
Surprisingly sparse.
Granted, vaping is a lot
Even in
less
such a bare
damaging
room,
than smoking
know there
because
must be
you have
something
fewer deadly
hidden
chemicals going
inside.
into your lungs. You just
the
have the
spout on
nicotine
his
addiction to deal with.
mouth hangs like a
Addiction.
slides open. Hidden away in this room stands a
Get caught now
sculpture
in
of a
vaping.
woman. Its
True, the
back
weed
reads,
vapes. I forgot about that.
For my love. In ice, you
Oh, I
survive.
got deep snows. Let's
Prince of
go.
Frost had hidden a germ
These boots are
inside a
horrible in
sphere
heroics.
of
In
ice.
epics, they're so good.
Germ
Insightful Constitution,
entails
Quality
memories
Constitution,
of his
Fortitude, and
long
Freedom of
lost
Movement.
love,
In heroics,
who died
Insightful Constitution 1
thousands
and
of years
Fortitude.
ago. As you drop the
Thanks,
germ,
video
the
game.
frost giant bursts into the room.
Well, I
along
passed
with a
it
squad
to
of
stop
red
targeting
capped
teens.
guards.
Yeah, I think didn't they do a thing where they
Frost
changed the
giant
flavors
collapses
where
onto the
now
floor
you
with a
can't
heavy thud.
is that you can't advertise the like or you can't sell like fruity flavors and stuff?
Dame Allegra
Targets the flavors.
stands in the
Yeah, but that is
center
a
of
that's a
darkness.
huge stop
She lets
stop for a
out
lot of
low
people.
chuckle.
How did you
Like if you've ever actually smoked a real cigarette, it tastes bad, dude.
It was
Smoking tastes bad.
riling up that gloomy prince always entertains my master here.
Adults don't
so
like
much.
flavors? Oh, for sure, but they're just trying to make it harder in general. I don't think it was. I like definitely they did target. They were trying to target teens. And when this whole thing was happening, I am an adult, so I only know adults who are smoking. Like I don't know smoking kids. I know it might sound weird, but I don't know a lot of smoking children. But the adults that I knew all smoked all the different flavors, and they turned to it because it tasted better than smoking cigarettes.
With a mad cackle.
Like I used to date somebody who was a fairly heavy smoker, and then when they started vaping, they swapped to like peach and mango vapes and all this stuff.
Flowers and vines crumbles into ash.
And I gotta say,
It leaves
true fact,
behind one last frosted cerise
you know,
flower.
it is not very fun to kiss people who smoke a lot,
This
but
time,
it's not bad.
the
Not
bloom
that bad to
stays
kiss
in the
people who
palm
vape
of your hand,
with the fun flavors, because
instead
then you're
of
like,
crumpling away into nothing.
delicious. Also,
Turn to the
Nocturne Ring.
Barons to tell her what happened.
Do I want Sonic lore, or do I want True Seeing and Insightful Fortification? I think I'm going to go for the Insightful Fortification. Sonic lore 10% gives me a 10% crit chance on my Sonic spells, but this means I can't be critically hit anymore because it brings my Fortification up to 96, so monsters only have a 4% chance to crit me. That was the wrong ring. Andy, I have True Seeing now, so I can bypass doors. That's a good idea. Alright, Quid Pro Quo drops... the Dire Bear Belt, which is a good item, so
The
I'll get
Prince
that.
of Frost glowers down at you.
Yes? Why have you come? Out with it!
The Prince of
Perfect.
Frost chuckles, but his eyes remain cold and hard as they bore
As a
down.
teen myself, I think 30% of teens smoked.
You come asking for favors?
I never
When
smoked
you
when I was a
impaled
teen.
on
I
me
didn't
by
start till I
your
joined the
very
army. Yeah.
presence? Not
Also,
many
yeah, you are
dare
outplayed.
to
It's like
overstep
the end of the
certain
day, dude. Kissing someone before marriage, so there's a Christian DDO
Because I
stream?
feel
No.
tedium,
I'm a born again Christian.
perform the 3 tasks I have
Obviously, I know that it is a sin to hold hands before marriage, so I would never talk about something like that. But
The Prince of Frost waves his hand. And a
but again,
trail
I'm
of
born again.
portals
That's what it
open
is.
Nearby.
Got that DDO bug. Wait, are you having fun playing computer games on the computer?
You stand here is a second of my
Oh,
patience
gee.
being siphoned away.
You've arrived at Rhyme's Refrain.
All right, so
One of the
this
Prince
one,
of Frost's
I have to make a
favorite
spellcraft check. It is a very low
Demands that you
spellcraft check, but
remove
if I
the
roll poorly,
griffins
this thing
that
is going to
seem
kill
have
me.
made their
So,
home inside the amphitheater.
let's
A
go.
number of griffins are
Spellcraft.
perched throughout the amphitheater.
I succeeded.
They
Nice.
look at you apprehensively, but make
Hey, I'm
no
glad to hear
move
you're having
attack.
fun. You're not supposed to date
You
before marriage? Yeah,
skillfully
you can't.
tend to the
Even
griffins'
eating,
wounds.
I think even
In
eating
time,
dates
the
is a sin.
griffins will be
I'm not
able
sure.
to
It's
return
complicated.
To their usual lairs.
The sin to
The
even think about
amphitheater
laying with
can
somebody?
now return
Yeah,
to
hey man, you
regular
gotta control.
use.
If you don't
That
police
takes
those
care of
thoughts, then
one
how is your
thing
religion
for
going
the
to work?
Prince of Frost. The tramp of approaching
For full
boots
transparency,
echoes
I
through
am
the
not a
air.
religious person,
Then
and
a
I
vicious
support
voice
people's
calls
rights
out,
to celebrate their own religion, and I also support people's ability
The
to
hunters have caught up
tease
to the
others
injured
for their
matriarch,
beliefs,
but she is in no condition
including people
to fly.
teasing me for my beliefs.
An injured guard calls out to you. You there. You have the look of an adventurer. The villagers have been captured.
As long as
and
it's like
dragged
generally
off by those
good-hearted.
Brutish Fomorians. I'm in no shape to do anything about it. Rescue them.
Make a pretty great follower alert sound. Why have you come out here out with it? The problem is my alert sounds are me making stupid noises. So like Arcaniverse could use the "Why have you come here? Out with it" line, because he is somebody who uses like DDO sound effects for the alerts. I don't do that because I just say really stupid things and then I turn them into sound clips. My higher level. Bro, Nimeth is like AFK, dude. What is happening? Nimeth, do something! Oh my gosh.
I get to keep all the captives.
I feel like I'm Zana over here from Path of Exile. Exile, do something!
The Fomorians have been defeated.
Remind me I need to capture more DDO sounds for alerts. Sure. Just do what I do. Just don't be intelligent and say dumb things, and then use that. Like, start playing Shade Archive for the first time, and realize how insanely fun it is, and realize you're a rogue who runs around cleaving people, and then scream into your microphone, "Oh, I'm a rogue!" Or, whatever this sounds like. Hold on. Turn undead! Oh ho ho! I'm a cleric! See? Just say something dumb, and then turn it in.
You find yourself inside the
I just can't seem to
held
be
by
as
the
dumb as
Red
you.
Knights.
Oh,
The
it's
Prince of
difficult.
Frost wants you to retrieve a wine chalice that they stole.
Okay, so for getting through this section, here's a tip. Always go left first, because the rune almost has a very high chance to spawn either in this room, which you can tell by walking up the door and mashing the backspace key, or this room right here. It'll almost always spawn in one of these rooms. So it did. If it spawns in one of these rooms, it is always on the exact opposite side. So imagine... How did I get caught? By what? Did Nimeth get caught? Oh, Nimeth got caught. Okay. I didn't get caught. Oh, Nimeth shot the werewolf. Anyway. So think of this like a big circle. That's what it is. If I got it here, then I want to go the opposite side and then over by one. So it's always going to be in this room right here. So there's like 3 doors, 3 doors, 3 doors, 3 doors. So if it's in this one, it's over here. If it's in this one, it's in this one. And if it's in this one, it's over here in this one. So it's very easy. Hear about Shader Kai? My first thought is chips. Dude, it's so good. That's a classic video. And shirt. You can still buy your chain shirts. Buy them today if you don't have one. I mean, after calling myself an idiot, turns out you're not an idiot. You just have opportunities to learn more things. Is the implication that idiots don't learn things? Maybe. What is an idiot? These are the real hard-hitting questions here. Hard-hitting journalism. See ya. Get destroyed. Dees Battlelord? More like Dees Nuts. I'm gonna keep saying that until they stop having Dees Battlelords in Hardcore League. Oh, do I have to kill this? No. Am I going to? Yep. All right.
Now that you've done these 3 favors for the Prince of Frost, perhaps he'll return 1.
Professional idiot? True. I do get paid to be an idiot on camera. Can I come up with my generic caster set for level 11? I thought a combo of Ravenloft and Sandstone would be good, but I can't come up with a combination that's better than my level 8 caster set. What you could do is use random items. Have you thought about that, Matus? Like for your caster set. Instead of coming up with a meticulously crafted and well put together spellcaster set, you just equip random items. Have you thought about that?
To lend you his powers in reaching Hirsum's fortress. You can now proceed.
It's way
with the
less
final
stressful.
Part of your plan.
And then you think about how many cool items you would use all the time. And you might be like, oh man, you know what? I was never really thinking about using the Ember Shortbow, but if I just put it on my spellcaster.
Ahead lies Bitterspine Palace, home to the Baron and Baroness Bitterspine.
What if? Wouldn't it be better if chain shirt were made of actual chainmail? Honestly, true. If I ever end up doing a collaboration with a chainmail manufacturer, we can make the chains, the chains shirt. That's a great idea. I like it. It's fun.
again, bear.
I don't see myself collaborating with a chainmail manufacturer, but hey, you know what? The future can hold anything. Do I need to do witch hunt for any reason? No. Do I need to do needle and a Feystack? It does have the necklace.
As it happens, I'm about to have a very
Spell focus, insightful, spell focus, insightful sheltering.
and I don't wish to
And
be
the bracers
disturbed. I'll need some
of mana
guards.
cost reduction.
Reliable guards, not a grumpy old flea bag like
But it's
yourself.
also annoying without Dimension Door.
Let's see. Yeah,
I don't know.
that should do it.
No, because the idea behind the caster set to have one set for all caster builds, and then I can delete mules.
wouldn't want
Honestly,
to
good idea.
interrupt your busy schedule.
Yeah, Isle of Dread really does a number on giving you extra items. I'm probably going to run a whole lot of Isle of Dread, because if I get the ring or necklace of the sky, I'll be super stoked about that.
The bear agrees to help you find the Baron, but first you must bring him 3 items.
Fine. I missed? Good. This is one of the reasons why I like running Quicken, because it allows me to get my spells out faster, so the monsters have less of a time to react and move out of the way. Also, another reason why I like the spell song, again, I'm just taking incremental hits, but I just heal it all back. It doesn't matter. It's great. The topiary nymphs are the most dangerous monsters in here, followed up by the topiary lions. Everything else is remarkably less dangerous. But the topiary nymphs and the topiary lions are very dangerous. The nymphs cast a lot of dangerous spells. The lions just have like 1,000 hit points and chase you down. And they trip you. So you got to be very careful about that one. All right, let's go. Yeah, I like doing expansion quests. It will be a little bit difficult, I guess, if you want to follow along with the quest guide that I'm doing, if you don't own a lot of the expansions. But realistically, you're supposed to learn play patterns, you know? I think that's pretty good. Apparently they are eating Nimit. Well, she is healing passively. Also, the spiders got caught in bear traps, which is awesome.
A massive
A giant spider getting caught in a bear trap is my type of D&D story.
You found one of the
Oh, I should have done that when my players were like going through an adventure. Be like, you see a poor animal caught in a bear trap. I'm like, oh no, what type of animal is it? It's a, 4-foot wide spider, and one of its legs is caught in the trap. They're like, oh,
Their magic, of course.
let's leave it. Because when you hear like, oh no, a wolf or a coyote or something is caught in a bear trap, that's a horrible scenario. You got to help the animal. Big spider though? What about big spider? Would you help it then? Big fucking spider. Mm-hmm. Also, fantastic movie, Big Ass Spider. Unrelated. I will totally defend this movie, Big Ass Spider. It is a good film. I would definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's like one of those B monster movies, but it is way better than I thought than it should be, in my opinion. It's a better movie than it should have been based on the budget that they likely had. It is surprisingly entertaining, and I would definitely recommend Big Ass Spider if you're somebody who likes those like goofy monster movies. It's pretty good.
The mortals gave my hags a bit of trouble.
Like if you're somebody who enjoyed any of the Sharknado movies, you will enjoy Big Ass Spider, but it is also better than those movies as well.
And leave those drones.
Eight-Legged Freaks is also a good movie. It's a classic. There is also Lavalantula.
Step into the
Lavalantula is not as good as Big Ass Spider, but it'll get a few good laughs out of you. But yeah, Lavalantula is not as good. A movie that I thought was good and had high hopes for that turned out to be extremely bad was Tsunami. So Tsunami is a movie about a tsunami of bees. Like, we're just it's a home run title. Tsunami. I was very excited for it. Me and my friends watched it for about 15 minutes, and it panned from one scene where these three people were in a car, to this other scene where these three people... Oh, by the way, for this one, you die if anything goes to one of these crystals. So I'm making sure that none of this goes to the crystal, none of this goes to the crystal. This crystal is not lit up, so I'm going to keep that aside. Except this one. This one summons monsters. So when I twist this, I don't die, and a bunch of monsters spawn, and I can kill the monsters. It just saves time instead of having to hook it all the way around. So that's why I do that. But yeah, Tsunami. In the movie, there was these three people talking in a car. Then at some point they go to a house and they're talking to each other. And after about 15 minutes, nothing happens. So we got kind of bored, and it's like a 3-hour movie. So I started clicking around randomly in just skipping ahead and clicking around the movie. And the only places I saw was the house and the car. No matter where I clicked, it was always the house or the car, them just sitting in the car talking, or them in the house talking. I have no idea what's in that movie. Horrible film. It's one of the few movies I've just stopped watching as I got bored. I will watch boring movies. I'm stupid. I don't have a lot of regard for my own time, and I'll watch stupid, boring things I don't even like. But that was absolute madness. It was I don't understand what the point of the movie was.
You needn't worry about
Took in an old Godzilla movie last weekend. It was an experience. I love the old Godzilla movies. They're so fun. Local late night TV host that does old B horror and sci-fi movies. That's great. I think it's fun just to sit around and watch some of those. Lake Placid sequels are terrible. I have not seen the Lake Placid sequels. I didn't even know that they made a sequel to Lake Placid.
A gingerbread golem that he created has run off with his entire supply, along with a collection of delectable custard-filled cakes.
I will probably shrine before the end of this. There is a ring in here that gives lightning and sonic spell power, and if I get it, I don't know what I'm going to do. Scream? That would be such a lucky pull. I believe the light armor also drops here, so there's several items I can use out of this quest. Die, Sir Molasses Gumdrop. Die. Meth is so powerful, especially with the extra cash levels. Huge fan. Yeah, I didn't even know they made Lake Placid sequels. Good to know. Is that good to know? Because I said good to know, reflexively. But thinking back on it, I don't know if that is a good thing to know. Also, this quest is dramatically faster because you can cast Dimension Door, which puts you right back to the beginning if you have it. I will get Dimension Door at 10, and we'll start aggressively using it at that point. But I don't have Dimension Door yet, so, sometimes it'd be like that.
You don the giant's gloves, reach deep inside the bear's mouth.
For this one, you just have to be careful. You do not want to get charged by the unicorn, and then just beat him up. That's it, quest over. Alright, come on, ring! Dang, I got nothing. I was hoping for something. Nothing is a bit more disappointing than something. Oh, what's left? Combating corruption. I don't want to do the Thorn Rite. I might get the necklace, so I think I'll do Needle and a Feystack. Immortality Lesson has a Heroism Augment. I don't care about that. The Cold Iron Bracers, which is just Vitality 12, which I don't... I mean, Vitality 12 is not bad. I don't know. Oh, also, Arcane Spell Failure and Shields. So, Shields grant Arcane Spell Failure, but Bards are proficient with them. Technically, spell-like abilities don't suffer from Arcane Spell Failure, because this is not an Arcane spell. It is a spell-like ability, so therefore it's not subject to Arcane Spell Failure, which is very cool. I have no way to reduce it on the shield, so the only ways I can do it on this character is either to A, get a shield that has no Arcane Spell Failure, like a Buckler, or B, get an augment of either the minimum level 12, 16, or 20 that reduces Arcane Spell Failure on the item I equip it to by either 5, 10, or 15. with 15, I'd be able to use a heavy shield.
Reaches
Um,
upward to the
I'll think about it.
sky.
If I pull a good heavy
Yet
shield, I
some
might.
form
I
of
plan on taking the
corruption
feat's
has
Shield of
gripped
Mastery
its roots, slowly
to increase
twisting
my
and
hit points.
transforming this
Because
ancient
for those of you that
sentinel
don't
of
know,
the
there was a
forest.
change to Dungeons & Dragons Online that you can read about under the feat Heroic Durability, where the melee combat style feats increase your hit points by 25%, or your hit points gained from your levels, which for me as a bard, I get a D8, so I get 8 hit points per level. So taking the combat style feat, one of them gives me 2 extra health per level. So just taking that right away would give me an extra 9 health. Or no, 18 health if I took it at level 9. And 18 health is a pretty good amount. That is better than toughness, which is 1 health per level. It's actually twice as good.
As the second orb
And then on top of that, if I wear a shield of any kind, I also get more defenses, which is, again, pretty valuable. And then having a large shield, as I said, has its own benefits. Because I don't get evasion in this character, it is nice to simply just have a way to get... you don't often get the lineup with the lightning bolt, so I think I would get better. I like getting the extra physical resistance rating, and then also getting, because I don't have evasion, I don't worry about, having, or whether I should or shouldn't have a shield equipped. I can just wear a shield and then get the defensive bonuses from it. I just need to deal with the Arcane Spell Failure. Another way to deal with Arcane Spell Failure is if you actually play as a Feystack in Epics. Feystack has an ability where you do not suffer Arcane Spell Failure at all. Just don't have any of it, which means as a bard, you can easily wear full plate and a Tower Shield, which I've done. It's pretty good. Here, you do not want to get attacked by both Shambling Mounds. There's one on the left and the right. The Shambling Mounds cast the spell Splinter Bolt, which is a high physical damage spell, which this guy is throwing at me right now, which is very rude. And it's very painful. If you get attacked by Splinter Bolt on both sides, you might die. So you don't want to do that.
A shudder of relief passes through the tree's roots as the last orb in the northwest tunnel
Go.
shatters.
Okay. What was I talking about? Something? Sorry, I got really distracted. You ever do that thing where you are in the middle of doing something and then you start thinking about something else? And you, just forget where you are in three-dimensional space?
Your sense of dread and loss mounts.
I don't know. I think I daydream a lot. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but it's a thing. Like daydreaming Davy over here, pretending I'm in the wild, wild west. Okay, I don't know how I missed. That's not cool. Again, still don't know how I missed. Also, Shambling Mounds are immune to lightning for some reason. Bro, I cannot hit this Garyon Hunter. It is, impossible. Nimeth, assist. Attack. Thank you. I don't know why I can't hit it, but I just couldn't. It was too much. Yeah, so I think I will take the whole Shield Mastery line. The thing I'm trying to figure out is whether I want to take Spell Focus,
With the final orb in
and
the
whether I
north
want to take
tunnels destroyed, crackling sounds can
Force of
be heard
Personality.
from the
Force of
buried.
Personality gets my will saves
With the
as
orb's gone, the
based off of
second
Charisma
barrier
instead of Wisdom,
collapses in
which
on
is a lot of
itself
bonuses to will
with an
saves.
audible crack.
Evocation DCs are obviously just generally important, although I get a lot of them as a bard. And Shield Mastery gives me a huge amount of additional hit points. And hit points are, I mean, they're good. They increase your health. They make it harder for you to die. I think I will probably take the whole Shield Mastery line if I'm being honest. I think I'm going to take the whole Shield Mastery line and Evocation Focus at... I will take Shield Mastery at 9, Improved at 12, Evocation Focus at 16, and Greater at 21. No, at 18, sorry. Right. Are there any other feats I'm missing? I don't need Extend. Have Quicken. I don't need Height. My maximum cast level is 6 anyway. I think I'm good. It's important to make sure you do plan out your feats and plan out your builds ahead of time. I'm doing this less. I was mostly just really excited to play Spellsinger, so like doing solo Spellsinger is a very easy sell for me. Oh, Nimeth. Yes, melee the final boss in this quest. I love that. Swing that mace. I did get a cloak. That's funny. I wanted the Cloak of Winter from this quest. I did not get that, but I did get a cloak. Okay. I think I'm going to go do Needle in a Feystack. I will teach you guys the easy and fast way to do Needle in a Feystack. I didn't do that heroics in heroics on my fighter, but I am going to do that here because I think there is value in teaching that lesson. I don't need any of this stuff. Because there is some confusion about how to do this. I have a guide for that quest already on my YouTube channel, but some people might not know. It's the problem with doing quest guides is people don't know you have that already. You only need the quest guide when you are running the quest. So I don't have... Like, it's just hard for people to even know that I have it. People have suggested to me many times to make quest guides for quests I've already made guides for. Just because, again, you wouldn't know unless... like, you have been through my entire catalog and even just still remembered that I made stuff. There are videos that I don't even remember that I made. If I'm being honest. For somebody to be like, oh yeah, I watched this video and you did this. And I'm like, watched what? Hold on. Whose video? Oh, if you're wondering why I'm not throwing myself off the cliff here, which I usually do, the problem is that this area is a little spooky because you can take double fall damage when you land on the ground, and I just don't want to take that risk. I am, however, going to check for some of the rares. There is the possibility of the Drowner right here, which did not spawn. There is also a Wisp that can spawn here. That didn't spawn because there's beetles. And then lastly, there is a Sea Cat that can spawn over here, which might spawn in. Let's see. And there's none because there's crayfish. Well, no rares. Oh well. I didn't check every rare. I just checked the ones that I remember being along the way. Knowing where rares are, just so you can sweep around and get them as you play, is usually the move for getting rares in like explorer zones and stuff. Especially in heroics. I don't really like target farming those things, but just doing a quick sweep as you slide around the landscape is usually a good idea.
One specific tree deserves more attention than others, for it bears the chest containing...
Become destroyed by me. Two of these? I thought there was two from France. Oh yeah, there is two from France. Just the other one, like, wait, behind. Ferocious Fomorian. Again, you will notice that a lot of the work is being done by Nimeth, Celebel. That is okay. That is all going according to plan. Is Shield Mastery considered a combat feat? Yes, it is a combat style feat. Combat style feats say combat style in the description. They'll say combat style like bonus, combat style effect. So for example, the Shield Mastery feat gives a combat style bonus to melee power. It also gives a combat style bonus to double strike and a combat style bonus to physical resistance rating. The reason why combat style matters is there are a few ways to combine combat style bonuses. So for example, if you're a swashbuckler, you can hold a buckler while still single weapon fighting if you take the specific enhancements for it, allowing you to be a single weapon fighter who uses a shield. But to prevent you from getting too much melee power from that, the melee power from single weapon fighting and shield mastery are both combat style, so they don't stack. Okay, so the chest that has the dragon can spawn here, right here. It's not, so it's, you know, I can keep walking. Say to your archer. Also, there's a topiary nymph or a wild nymph here. Again, the nymphs are the most dangerous parts. Always kill them first. How did they get the enveloping swarm on me? Schemer that does that? I think so. Anyway. It can be right here. It can be right here, which means this is 100% the treasure chest, the proper one. Or it is down there. It is only those 4 spots. So it's either back there by that other tree, right here under this mushroom, right here, or down there. Every other chest is wrong. I don't even need to check this. I already know. Just take it down and crack open the chest.
As you open the chest,
There's the unicorn. And fortunately for me, every time I cast Sonic Blast, the unicorn has to stop, which is very useful because it means that I don't have to chase these things too far. I think I don't have to chase these things too far. It still has like 1,000 hit points, so you gotta be careful, but... Also, Nemeth is like disinterested with fighting it, I guess.
Something stirs inside the blink dog falls, but something flits
And
out.
somehow the Ravenous Reveler, I find, very often will like just not get hit by my spells.
Here we go again.
Oh, the lightning breaks the stun! Oh my goodness, that's very funny that that happens like that. Dude, this thing is so fast! I can't even get my sound burst off before it runs away again. Up, please.
The raven is slain. As it falls to earth, an egg rolls out.
Alrighty.
Hopefully, the egg doesn't
Now to break it,
move.
you just tell it it's a trick, get an axe, and then the egg will scream at you, because the egg is actually a tricky pseudo-dragon.
That looks like a small winged
You don't have to fight it,
shadow
you can just leave it alone,
down from
leave the hireling
sky
where they
and
are, because you don't need their help
thrust the
anymore, and then you just
Just
walk
as
back to
you
the main
reach
quest.
for it,
If you have
the
Dimension Door,
victorious
you can Dimension Door back to the beginning, and walk to the end from
dragon-like
where you
creature
Dimension Door in,
darts
but
away
I
with
don't
its
have that
pride.
spell for 2 more levels, so I will just be walking. Be nice though. If only I could get 4th level spells early. Should do that. They should have a feat that lets you get higher level spells earlier. That only I can take because it would be very convenient. Actually, no, I will use Imeth just for this room here. There's no more combat after this, but still it would be nice to have the extra support. And then I let the dragon go in the cave.
little dragon
And then I
disappears
follow the dragon
through
into the
this
cave. You don't have to
portal,
fight that stuff on the left
taking
side if you
your
don't want to.
prize with it.
You can.
As you pursue the
And now we have to
creature
play a
into
little
the cave,
game of
you hear
hide
its
and
excited
tag.
voice up ahead.
Now you can bargain with the dragon to get extra chances or other stuff. I don't know. I'm just going to tell him about the game of skill.
Dragon announces,
Let the dragon hide itself. How do you know where the dragon is? You listen. You listen for dragon breath. If you hear dragon breath, that means the dragon is nearby you. That breath. I just need to find it. It's getting quieter, so it's over here. There it is. There's the little dragon, not too far. But you touch the dragon and run away. It has to tag you. It kills you if you tags you, so don't deal with that. If you run and jump on top of this, the dragon can't get you here, which means you can hang out. Chill. Got nothing going on. We're just waiting for the dragon. Waiting for the quest to finish. That's what I'm talking about. Then eventually, it's over, and we're done. We're done. That's it. I feel like that was longer than usual. That's why I left the hireling outside. They're not helpful here. Oh! I got a death block item! Oh, baby, that's not what I wanted from this chest, but that is something I wanted in general. Great item. Big fan. Great time. Do I want to do anything else here? I'm trying to think. I don't want to do this quest. It can drop the Crown of Snow, but this quest will kill me. Immortality Lesson drops a bracer I don't want. I don't want a single item out of Immortality Lessons. I think. Wait, does the helmet come from there? Wait, what's the helmet do? DDO Immortality Lessons. If you don't know what items come from what quest, just Google them. Immortality Lesson. The helmet is Crown of Butterflies, which has Crown of Summer, which is kind of cool. A Halosphere. A whole bunch of items I don't want. I think I'm done with that, so I don't think I'm going to do any of that. I'm going to do a couple more quests in House Jarasco, I think, just to finish off the 6s. And I'm just going to pick up all the rewards here. Also, Strength is much better than Illusion Resistance. So I'm going to take that as a bonus. So grab this. Sweet. I'm going to put on my new belt of Death Block. Death Block prevents you from getting killed by instant kill effects, which is good enough. Blasting Necklace of Impulse is cool. Fire Warded Bracers is better than Strength, so that's cool. Also, I'm aware I just missed a high mana, high saving throw item. Helmet. I'm aware of that. That's not very good. So I'm just going to take anything and sell it out of the game. And you have Sneaking. It's the same Sheltering, but less dodge. Spell Saves, Cloak of Feather Falling. This is better than what I'm using, and it's for level 9, so I'm actually going to take this, and I'll probably use it. Reinforced Skirmish Mail. I already have a fortification item. Getting the right armor can be difficult for your character, especially when you're looking for specific stats. Vitality is really good as a prefix, so Vitality armor is not bad. But other stats work well. Oh, also, I'm going to be grabbing the fast movement speed, and then I'm going to be picking up the Snowball Swarm. And then when Snowball Swarm is maxed, so I can kind of alternate these two spell-like abilities, that's when I'm just going to be finishing off in Spellsinger. So, in terms of the progression. That information is not super important, but I just wanted to say it. I'm actually going to go refresh my House Fjarlin buffs, because I don't want them to run out while I'm in the middle of a quest, because that would be bad. You get a lot of buffs, and keeping your buffs up in your defensive stats is very, very important, and so just running out in an inopportune time is obviously not good. So we'll see. Man, these bracers are awesome. Fire Absorption 16. There's a lot of fire effects, a lot of traps. So having access to fire absorption is pretty cool. Any amount of absorption is nice. Bear in mind that the way the absorption works is it does flat then percentage. So if you were to take like 100 fire damage and you had 20 fire absorption and 20 fire resistance, it would take 20 off of the 100 first, and then 20% off of the remainder, and 20% off of 80 is 16. So you would end up taking 64 damage total with 20 and 20, because that's how it kind of maths out, which is one of the reasons why resistance loses a lot of favor in the higher difficulties, because in the higher difficulties, if you're taking 3,000 damage from the fire, taking off like 50 fire damage off of 3,000 doesn't really mean anything, but taking off 50%, which is a very possible thing if you have like a Fire Shield is a spell you can cast that reduces the damage you take from fire by 50%, then that'll take off 500. So it becomes much more impactful in the higher levels. But you still want resistance for like repeated effects. A lot of monsters will cast damage over time effects on you, like Burning Blood that does fire and acid damage, and so having the ability to cast a spell or to have like resistance, so you can kind of ignore a lot of those damage over time effects is very good. Champions also like to apply damage over time effects to you, so that's where resistances kind of still have a lot of value. Right, it's troll killing time.
Among them is a dark scaly chip.
And by troll killing time, I mean I just let Nimeth kill it. Also, a reason why I run Red Willow every single hardcore is the treasure chest, man. Look at this. I just picked up a treasure chest with some reconstruction. I got another treasure chest here. Look at all this gold. It's gold. I'm going to have so much money when I'm done with this. I only have 467 platinum, but I almost have a full inventory of things to sell.
Flesh. Several camps are strewn throughout the area.
The higher level you get, the more money you get from the things that you sell, because things are worth more money. So my money problems will disappear. However, I am going to be using Greater Heroism Scrolls, so there's that. There's a lot of gold in them runes.
To reveal a small
also, level 18 was slain.
Trolls huddled together in the jungle here. Destroy them before they make a meal of it.
Again, this is the time where you don't really want to be dying right now, because it's going to be a lot harder to reset, because there's very few people playing on Hardcore League compared to peak timing. Although it's not as low as it usually is. I think it's because of the like the lower, what do you call it? Lower amount of time people are really trying to squeeze in, so there are still a lot of people starting up. Did I get Devotion of Healing Amplification? Damn, if only I was playing a Warforged Paladin today. That's sick item. Red Willow Ruins and some of the other quests I'm going to be doing here are old quests, so they don't have like named items drop. So unlike when I was talking about, oh, the item that drops out of Feywild, if you're wondering why I'm not like, oh, what items drop out of Red Willow? There are some old and named items that drop out of here that are okay, but most of them don't really matter. That's why I'm not talking about it. Managed to stay alive to get a reward? Oh, yeah. Hardcore League is hard.
Loudly nearby.
It is not called Easy Core. Uh-oh. Stop. Charging. Thank you. And another treasure chest. Just back to back to back. Dude, I'm looting like crazy. Also, that was 78 mysterious remnants? What on earth? That's so many. If you have Dimension Door in this quest, once you pick this up, you can Dimension Door back to the beginning. I don't have Dimension Door, so I am walking.
Return them to the halflings at Red Willow's camp.
Exactly. It's not Baby Core. You know what? It's not Baby Core. It's Hardcore. Challenging Core. Engage your core muscles core. But yeah, it's just a lot of walking around. That's why Dimension Door is nice, because there's less of this, like, you know, meandering. Every quest that you can use Dimension Door in, I will reference. And then once I get Dimension Door, oh, baby. It's gonna be good.
You have returned the item. Red Willow has opened a gate that leads.
In we go.
Red Willow's gateway deposits you.
Still have a lot of mana, so I'm feeling okay here. Always go for the Giants first. Giants have an ability called Overrun, where basically they charge you. You can tell that they're overrunning if the screen is shaking, and basically they charge you, and they just deal damage by walking towards you. And on top of that, they also yes, they deal damage just by walking towards you. And they knock you down with no saving throw. So it can be very, very dangerous. So if you see the screen start shaking, you have to just start running from every giant nearby. Overrun is very dangerous. Apparently these giants aren't, though. Hey, Torgon, guess what? Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. And rest so.
Bellows in defiance as he has struck a deadly blow. His hold over the goblin tribe is
more armor. Actually, what is this armor piece that I just picked up? Devotion of Combat Mastery. I do like Devotion, but I have Devotion on my weapon, and I like the Electric Absorb on my armor. So even though this is 2 levels higher, it has the same armor class for some reason. So that's weird. Whack. A little bizarre. No thanks. Secret Feather Falling. Feather Falling. I still take the time to read through all the items, just in case I find something that's like really crazy. Also, I'm taking the higher level items, because if they're level 9, that means that they're going to cost more money to sell. I'm also going to be taking level 9 soon, after I finish this quest and the other quest here, and I might do the 2 quests in House P. Once I finish these quests, I'm going to be leveling up, and then I'm going to sell after I level up, because I will have 1 higher point of haggle, which means 1% more returns on my investment. For those of you that don't know how haggle works, for every point of haggle that you have, you get things cost, sell for 0.5% more and cost 0.5% less. However, there is a maximum. If you have 100 haggle, that reduces the cost of all items by 50 that you could buy. That is the maximum. Things cannot cost less than 50% of their original cost. However, there is no maximum for selling. So if you have, like, as far as I know, if you have like 300 haggle, you will just sell items for more and more and more and make more money. So while you can only reduce the cost of shops by 50, you can increase the amount that you sell things for by more than double.
Terrible, the bloody pedestal groans with
now the question is, what do you do with all of this money? And the answer is not a lot. Admittedly, there's not a whole lot of things to do with Platinum and DDO at this point in the game. So in the early game it matters, but in the late game it does not. I know. No, it is what it is, I guess. As they say, it is what it is.
Rattle and shiver in the dust. A ahead.
I'm ignoring basically all these monsters. You don't have to ignore them. You can go over there and like fight all the archers in that room. I just don't want to. Because anything that wants to fight me will follow me here.
Insanity has turned this chapel into a pulsing heart of evil.
So I made a save versus my curse. Do I have another treasure chest? Yeah, more treasure. Another chain shirt that's reinforced. But reinforced of what? Negative resistance. Honestly, not that bad. Negative resistance is pretty cool because there are some negative damage spells that hit you. Undead cast them. Some spellcasters, Reapers, will do that. Famine Reapers around this level, they get Necrotic Bolt, which is a very, very high damage single target spell. It drains 1 negative level and does a very high amount of negative damage. So you kind of got to be careful about that. I don't know. And this is also something I really enjoy, is the difficult decision making sometimes that comes with how you want to gear out your character, where I have to, you know, play the gamble of, okay, if I wear this negative resistance item, I reduce the amount of negative damage I take by 14 from any source of negative. There are no negative champions, so, you know, it's not going to help me against a specific champion type, but it could come in handy in another place. Versus electric absorption, where there's probably more electric damage that I'm going to take from spellcasters, and even monsters like arcane skeletons deal electric damage. But it's a percentage, so I don't know. It's a tough call. It is a difficult call. And those types of decisions during leveling is actually one of the reasons why I really enjoy leveling. I like leveling. I like finding random pieces of gear and trying to make my builds work, because that to me is so fun. That little kind of back and forth between, do I use item A or item B? And there isn't a answer, it's comparative. You know, sometimes item A is better and sometimes item B is better, and you need to figure that out yourself. And it's a very satisfying experience to like see the fruits of your decision making. Granted, for many, the leveling experience can be a labyrinthine mess, where you are trying to figure out what items to put on at any given moment, and it's basically impossible to know what you want to equip. Do I want to equip the fire absorption item, or would I rather have bracers that give you, like, imagine I had fortification and death block, or fortification and fire resistant absorb? That's a difficult question. Also here, people fail this all the time. There's a major trap. If you walk into this chest, you die. Hug the right wall, and that's it. Room is over. You did it. You beat the room. The traps only trigger if you go into the middle, at which point it locks all the doors, and you have to run through the traps to unlock everything. If you just hug the right wall, you do not engage any of the traps. Pretty cool.
You have found the source of the wailing, but can you destroy it?
Anton Farthilakart is dead. We're all set. How much longer do I have on Nimeth? 2 minutes. Can I beat Purge the Heretics so fast I don't lose Nimeth for when I want to do Caged Trolls? I need to beat Purge the Heretics in less than 2 minutes while looting all the chests. I think I can. Let's find out. I'm not very curious. Also, this is why I started with a 12 strength, so I can have more carry weight with the house speed buffs. If you don't have that, then your character will cap out on its maximum dodge. I think if you're a medium load, you can only have a maximum dexterity bonus of 3. At which point my dodge would only be a 3 instead of a 5. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the armor class plus the dodge plus the blur. All of it kind of works together, and layered defense is really important. So even though my armor class isn't that high, it's not about just the armor class. It's about having the armor class and the dodge and everything else working in tandem. Which is one of the reasons why when you have all that stuff working in tandem, and you have like 27% dodge, and 50% concealment from displacement, and 15% incorporeality, so monsters can miss you, and like 150 armor class. Now all of a sudden your character's very tanky. Alright. We got this. We got this. Breathe. Visualize where you want to go and how you want to do this. Go. As I said, I'm going to be basically sprinting through this quest. I have 1 minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, this... I can leave this character on active because she'll just randomly kill stuff. I will be using Rage and Displacement. Dagny is dead to a Flame Skull that's dying in Amber Temple, RIP. Jump over the acid trap here, grab the hireling, move over here, pull right around the corner because it's a big flame trap. Most of the monsters in the quest will run through the big flame trap, kill the warriors, pop the door because I have Displacement, so it's hard to hit me. Jump, turn around, kill the ads following me, keep going, run this way. Kill this pack, which opens the door. So everything is dead here. And the door opens. Throw a stun so you don't get hit by the priests. Lightning bolt the priest. Lever for the door. Go through. Oisin the Merciful and Celine the Peacemaker. Kill them both. Kill them both. They're dead. Quest is over. Oh, I have to kill more members of the Sovereign Host. Oh, shoot. I didn't kill enough people. Door opens. There's 2 more priests. I think we're good. Get them. Grab the chest. I still have my thing, and now I have to recall out. Go, 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 go. Recall. 1 minute, 9 seconds. Come on. Expires in 0. It's under a minute now. Come on. Live. Live. I still have it. I don't know if I have enough time to summon my hireling, but I am going to try. Also, the reason why I was narrating what I was doing is so that way you can kind of see. It's basically to give you like the insight into the decision making that I'm thinking about when I do it, which might give you. I didn't get cage trolls. Are you serious? That might give you some insight into the decision making that I make while I was doing that quest. What things I was keeping in mind, how to get through things, what are the rules, like how do you open a door? The door opens when this set of monsters die. That's the trigger, so I know that. So kill those. Do I need to kill all the others? No, they're melee. Can I run around? Can I jump? Can I do all this other stuff? Yes. Also, jump casting is easier if you have Feather Falling. Let's grab these cage trolls. Also, Dragon Fist was slain by Misadventure. I don't need the hireling, by the way. This is mostly just pride. Come on, 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 come on. Yes, I got it.
You must be nearing the Emerald Claw.
Ah, that's a win for the day, ladies and gentlemen. That is a win for the day. Also with Bard, you can be like stupid aggressive because I have the temporary or the hit points that constantly come back from my spell thing. One of the benefits of being an actual spell singer instead of a Stormsinger is that spell singers get an effect called Inspire Greatness at level 9, where every 10 seconds they give themselves and everyone near them 20 temporary hit points. You can get an effect in War Chanter that makes it based off of your charisma score instead. So you constantly have temporary hit points coming out, and it makes you even tankier. As a Stormsinger, I don't have that effect, so you have to find a way around without dealing with that. Also, Nimeth Celebel is going to eat it to the acid, unless I turn the acid off. So I'm going to have to go over here to turn the acid off. Kill the Spellcaster and the guy and this Arcane Skeleton, or the skeleton at the same time. Important note, the Blackbone skeletons that are in here are really funny, because they are specifically designed to be immune to fire damage to stop spells like Wall of Fire. But nowadays, there's so many damage alternatives, you don't need it. I also used to pull the lever in the middle there every time to get the optional chest, because I thought it would open the door. It does not. The door opens on its own. Okay, so this area here, there's traps. So I'm going to dump on my shield so I take less damage from the traps and just kind of run through and hope I don't take that much damage. I did not get hit. Same thing here. I'm going to inch forward till I see the trap go off. It's not going, so I'm probably going to get hit, but the shield gives me more physical resistance rating. So even if I get hit, I'm okay, and we're fine. Now I grab my hireling, and we're all set. Will you be streaming the Friday at 4? Yes. My plan is to be streaming at that time, and we're going to watch it together. So we'll be watching the Severlin thing. So for those that don't know, Severlin, who is the executive producer of Dungeons & Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online, he's basically the guy that owns Standing Stone Games, basically. He will be on the DDO stream at 4 o'clock doing a Q&A. And so we're going to watch it. So we're going to watch the hour See if there's anything interesting we might learn about the game, things that are coming out. I don't think they've talked about the producers. The producers letter is out yet, so we don't have any kind of insight about what is coming to the game, but we'll see. Maybe they'll talk about their future plans. Maybe he'll have some more insights into the whole VIP fiasco. Again, we'll see. Usually, it's the same barrage of questions where somebody goes, hey, can we have a mega server? And he goes, yeah, well, mega server is complicated because of here are the software problems with why we don't have a mega server. And then somebody goes, okay, cool. How about this class balance decision? And he goes, yeah, I'm not on the balance team, so I can't really speak to the specifics of class balance. And then somebody goes, oh, specific bug question. He goes, okay, that's an interesting bug. Maybe put that one down. We'll pass it along to the team. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Can you help me with a ticket? That's not the only questions. There will also be good questions. We're going to get good information. But you better believe, or there's also going to be stuff like that in there. Which is very funny to me. Yeah. Is it 4 p.m. EST, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? That's the one. Accuracy 5. Wow. Time to level up. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It is a question and answer, so that's a good question. If he's like slurping back Mai Tais on a beach and not thinking about running a video game company, I respect that. Yeah, it'll be 4 p.m. EST. Oh yeah, UI scaling is another one. Yeah, bards do a lot of damage in DDO. They do. They're amazing. They're super powerful. They're one of the easiest characters to level. AP justifications from them after the fiasco? Yeah. People are going to be asking the questions. I will be. I will be posting in the channel. I won't be shit posting, but I will be posting in the channel asking that question because I am curious. So I'm going to take Shield Mastery here, then I'm level 9, because Shield Mastery increases the hit points of my character. And so I will get an extra 18 hit points per level, because as it was said here, it says, gives bonuses to your, physical resistance rating, double strike, combat style bonus to melee power, improves the hit points of hit point bonus of heroic durability, so I'll get 18 extra health. So from this, I should get 11 health. So I should go to 188, but I'm going to get 11 plus 18, which is 29. So I should actually go up to 206. I went up to 209, and I do not know why. But I'm not going to complain. I just got 2 more health than I thought I was going to. Okay. Move speed. Good. Reduced cost of maximize. Yes. Cool. And now I run 9% faster. 1% faster for each bard level. Is Tolero still producer? Yes, Tolero is still producer. I should ask about TOD rings? Correct, yeah. If the answer isn't leading the development of the best game ever, then the answer is incorrect. I don't know. Well, yeah. Next level, I will have Snowball Swarm at 10. So I'm going to max out Snowball Swarm. And then at 11, I'm going to grab Charisma. And then at 12, I will take the Spellsong Vigor, Horn of Thunder, the extra, the 2 enchantment DCs from Prodigy, and the 200 mana from Advanced Magical Studies, because mana good, as it turns out. Because I don't have a lot. The cookie jar is bound to account? Yeah, they should. I don't know if he has any... I don't think he has anything to do with that. But yeah, we'll see. And then I get Music of the Makers as well. It's fun. Inspire Greatness adds a bonus to my repair amp. You know what I would do if I had Inspire Greatness, except I don't. It's been taken away from my class. Bard feats, where are you, Inspire Greatness? As a Stormsinger, you don't get Inspire Greatness. So it is like what it is. Anyway, I gotta buy a new hireling, and I have to hit the bathroom, and I gotta get some water. So I will be right back. So here's my character and my progress. So I haven't spent any points in the racial tree. So actually, I'll just do this. This should fit properly. This is Fiddle Faddle, my ears hurt. I think I've been playing for about 8 hours or so.